Absolutely. Simon and I have had many difficult conversations, and I honestly don't think we'll ever stop having those conversations. When you start out with someone new, there's a dance to it. There's a communication dance. There's a push and there's a pull, and sometimes you give too much or you need to pull back a little bit, just as you would with a family member, a friend, a partner. You don't really expect to go into a new relationship and automatically know how to communicate with someone. But a lot of EAs will go into a relationship with their executives and automatically think that they should have this open communication with someone. You have to work at it. You have to schedule dedicated time. You have to put time and energy into it, just as you would with any relationship that's worthwhile in your life. So, as one of our igniters says, relationship is the foundation of accomplishment. And in order to really accomplish what you need to accomplish as a team, you have to build that relationship, and that all starts with communication. For us, I would schedule dedicated time. If I had to have a difficult conversation with Simon, I would actually schedule it out as opposed to just trying to get him as he was walking out of the door. And I come in with thoughtful solutions, and I really come in prepared for it, but I come in open with empathy and asking for help and learning how we can build this together. It's not just a my side or a your side. It's got to be a partnership throughout. So I get this question a lot, and I hear, I wish I could just go take a yoga class. I wish I could make myself some food late at night instead of eating cereal over a sink like most EAs do, because they get home at 11 o'clock at night. And the answer to that I have is one that not a lot of people enjoy. It's that you have to take responsibility for your life and your health and where you need to be and what makes you the best version of yourself. I've never been in any relationship, friends or family, who someone is pushing me to go take a yoga class or tell me that I need to start eating beets to make myself healthier. I am responsible for that. It is my job to take care of my vessel. So I know when I can work at my optimal self, it's when I have had exercise, it's when I have eaten well, it's when I have had a good night's sleep. It is my responsibility to do that. So my answer is you need to take responsibility for that and hold true to it and not sacrifice. I sacrifice a lot. I work a lot of hours and I sacrifice a lot of time and energy, but I will never sacrifice my health. So this was probably the biggest aha moment for me. For the first couple of years, I had confused showing my value or the perception of my value with acknowledgement. And to me, they are two different things. And it took me a few steps in order to get to that point. One of them being to find my own why and find my purpose and find the reason, the fire in my belly that makes me do everything that I do. Once I found what my purpose is, it gives me confidence to know what my value is and what my worth is. The second part of that is letting go of the perception of what being valued is, because that's my perception of what being valued is, not necessarily what my executive's perception is. So me looking to him to fit into the box that I wanted it to fit into, it's a futile experience because you're never going to get the thing that you're looking for because it's your own perception of it. So I know that Simon values me because of the projects that he gives me, because of the trust that he puts in me, because of the communication that we have together, because I know that at the end of the day, he does value what I do, whether or not there's actual verbal communication to it. And there's been a number of experiences that we've gone through. I was waiting for him to say something to me or waiting for him to thank me. And I thought to myself, well, what if I just said those things to myself? What if I just said, good job today? What if I just said, you did a lot to get to this point today? Because at the end of the day, he's not going to know what I went through to get to this, which is why he has me, because he doesn't know the steps that we need to take in order to get to the finished product. So I'm waiting for him to say, thank you for all the steps. He doesn't know what steps I went through. I know what steps I went through. So I either help myself or I call a fellow EA, I call a fellow executive assistant, and I say, I just need to talk about something for a minute, and they always have my back, and they help me with my value and my worth. Absolutely. It's atrocious the things that are happening out there and things that I've heard from executive assistants and the like of what's happening in their workplace. And what I can say is, number one, you have to stand in your own truth. and you have to know what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. And at the end of the day, everyone knows what that is. You know when you're feeling uncomfortable, when something is happening that makes you not want to work at your natural best, and you know when you're being harassed. So taking the proper steps, of course, is very important. Letting HR know, letting your executive know, talk about it, don't hide it, share. Other people have gone through this, and other people might look to you for seeing how strong you could be in that situation, and they might actually come out and say that they've been bullied before. I've also heard a lot of people who have witnessed workplace bullying and haven't done anything about it, or witnessed sexual harassment. To them I say, there's a bit of culpability in you as well, and you really need to take responsibility for what you've seen and help that person, help them out of a situation. They might not have the same tools that you do in their toolbox to be their authentic self and speak their own truth. So if you have witnessed this and you have the kind of personality that can help in that situation, you absolutely should get involved, and you absolutely should help and support. The first and foremost is communication. Communication, communication, communication. Ask for what you need. Ask for context. Ask for why the tasks that you're being given are those tasks. Ask for what's behind it. Why do you need me to do that? It will give you a clearer picture of their purpose, for their goals, for their what they need to accomplish. Open communication and consistently ask for help. I always tell my fellow EAs to be a spy. Learn when your executive is at their natural best. Watch their patterns. Watch how they go through a day. Watch how they interact with other people. Because then you can tell someone's cadence. Do they work better in the morning? Are they afternoon people? Are they nighttime workers? Do you always get emails for them at night? Find out when they're at their natural best and try and flex into that a little bit. Which leads me to being a mind reader. A lot of executive assistants talk about this a lot, wondering whether executives can't read their own minds. And at the end of the day, it's not their job. It's not the executive's job to read your mind. It's your job to read their mind. So really think behind the tasks that you're given. Think forward, think, well, if this is what I need to do, then what's going to happen after that? What's going to happen after that? And really try and step yourself with empathy into your executive's shoes to find out how they can operate at their natural best and how they can improve themselves. And I always say offer solutions, not problems. Nobody wants to hear complaints. What can you do with a complaint? What you can do is offer solutions to problems, even if the solutions are not the correct one. Go in with thought out solutions instead of just complaining about a problem. This is a question I get all the time as well. Most executives hire for skills. Can they be organized? Can they be on time? So on and so forth. And that's wonderful, but there's a lot of skills that are not shown on resumes, like loyalty, like resourcefulness, like values. I always say skills can be taught. At the end of the day, skills can be taught. Values are forever, and who they are as a person is forever. So get to know them. When you're interviewing, take them out to lunch, ask them about their family, find out what's behind them, find out who they are as a person before just hiring for a skill set. Now, maybe you want something short term, or maybe you really only need the skill set, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're really looking to have a partner, if you really want someone to be in the partnership with you, you have to look past the resume and figure out who they are as a human, and that does take time, but if you hire slow and ask the right questions and take the time and energy to get to know them, the product will be so much more on the other side, because there will be loyalty and shared values on the other side. So context is absolutely the key to helping someone work in their natural environment. Not just giving tasks, give the context behind why the tasks are given, because that might help your executive assistant work more autonomously and give you solutions that more than what you actually wanted in the beginning. So you can say to an executive assistant, can you go get me this book from the library? But if you tell her why you want the book from the library, she or he may come back with 7 books from the library that will actually help you, because you've given them the context behind why you want that task done. That is absolutely one of the most important things you can possibly do. And I'm a big fan of continued learning and encouraging your executive assistant to attend conferences, to continue their own journey to be better versions of themselves. Because if they can be better versions of themselves, they can support you in new and innovative and trusting ways, because they're feeling more confident about who they are as a person. So just like leadership, it's a skill that can be taught and can be learned. And some executives and some people in general think that you automatically need to know how to operate with your executive assistant. It's not an innate skill set. So one of the classic mistakes is an executive coming in and just thinking they need to know everything, that they automatically have to have all the answers, and they need to know and tell you how to get your job done. You don't have to know all the answers. That's why you've hired someone to help you. So be curious. If you've never had an executive before, ask them how they work at their natural best. Ask how they can suggest the partnership can go. Really be inquisitive and learn the skill set that it takes to have an executive assistant, or ask for help in that. Because what that leads to is either the executive will give you too much or give you not enough. Many people that I've worked with think that it's an autonomous job to be an executive, that you fit into your bubble and the executive assistant fits into their bubble, and it's delineated. There's a line that is drawn where my work starts and stops and your work starts and stops. Where if you make this a team and a partnership and give loads of context and share what your priorities are and share what your goals are and share where the vision of the future that you're trying to build is, you can make that a partnership, and you can get 10 times more things done in a day, because you will have that relationship with someone who knows why you're doing what you're doing, who knows that vision of the future, and she or he can help you build that in ways that you probably haven't even thought of yet.